For those of you wondering who I am, I'm Father Joseph Cardoni. I am Chief Mission and Values Officer at Mercy Health. I'm a priest of the Diocese of Toledo. I don't drive back and forth to Toledo every week. My bishop released me from a diocesan assignment to take on my role at Mercy Health 5 years ago. So it's wonderful to be with you this morning. When we watch for signs of the kingdom, we're sometimes tempted to look for signs of doom and despair, signs that warn us of judgment and retribution, even death. And despite assurances that we are God's beloved, we still sometimes wait for the anvil to drop or the jig to be up, a sure sign, we think, that God's kingdom is at hand. There are other times when a kingdom with all the trappings of royalty sounds appealing. After all, even the disciples asked Jesus who would sit at his right hand when he came into his kingdom. And shouldn't the kingdom of God bring at least with it a little triumph and glory? But Jesus continually invites us to expect some different signs, to envision a different kind of kingdom. Throughout his life, Jesus turned people's assumptions upside down and inside out, challenging them to see the world through new eyes. The dead will find new life. People will be freed from demons. Those who are unclean will be made whole. Sinners will enter heaven. The weak will be the strong. The ones who would lead must first be willing to serve. Jesus invited his disciples on a journey of discovery, showing them that the kingdom of God is more intimate, more challenging, more rewarding than they ever imagined. He invited his disciples to become not slaves, not even simple followers, but full partners in his mission. Moved by pity for the crowds of people who wandered without a shepherd, Jesus gave his disciples his own authority and sent them out into the world. He said, "As you go, make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand." This message of hope was sent to lepers huddled along the margins of life. It was heard by widows carrying water from the well. It was shared with merchants trading goods in the marketplace. It was proclaimed to Roman soldiers standing guard at the camp. This message was heard by harlots walking in the alleyways and by priests making sacrifice in the temple. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, drive out demons. Without cost you have received. Without cost you are to give. Throughout his life, Jesus reminded his disciples that the signs of the kingdom are not doom and gloom. Signs of the kingdom are signs of life, signs of hope, signs of healing, signs of hospitality, signs of joy. Open your eyes, he said to the disciples of old, And to the disciples of today, you and me, open your eyes. What do you see? Are you moved by pity when you encounter those who are troubled and abandoned? Do you respond when you see sheep without a shepherd? Like the disciples, Jesus invites us into a full partnership to begin that same journey of discovery. He gives us his own authority, sends us out into the world, and then asks, what do you see? How do you respond? Do you respond? What kind of a kingdom do you proclaim? Do we visit the sick and dying? Do we work for peace? Do we protect the most fragile among us? Do we seek forgiveness? Do we seek reconciliation? Do we help free those held by the demons of addiction and poverty and fear? This work is not easy, perhaps because it is never truly finished. There will always be illness and suffering, a need for healing and reconciliation. But if have the courage to begin, one person at a time, we have been promised an abundant harvest.